Coming to you almost live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG, it's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith. Hey, you're watching Up Late with Sam Bass. And guess what? I'm Sam Bass. Could have fooled you there, right? As you might have already guessed. I want to tell you who my guest star tonight before I get going here. Emily Wagner from CBS 17 will be here live in person, and so will Will Ferrell will be here tonight. Stay tuned. So let me tell you a little bit about what this show is going to be about. We're trying to take the best ideas of David Letterman, Johnny Carson, kind of do our own little local spin on that with our own twist here and there. If you're one of the one or two people out there that don't know who I am, you probably know me from my work with the Rocky Mount Chamber. Some may know me, some may not. I will tell you a little bit about myself. I was born on the base at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Now, I know you've heard that on every other commercial that comes on about Camp Lejeune. Well, they sprinkled some of that good water on me and sent me out into the world. So my dad was a career Marine, so we moved around a lot. I went to 9 different schools in 12 years, which is a lot of having to make new friends. When you're always a new kid, you better learn how to make friends pretty fast. I've been married for 33 years. My wife's name is Marty. Bless her heart. I've got a daughter named Emily, and I got the sweetest dog in the world. Her name is Penny. She's a real sweetheart. My thing growing up was playing music. I love music of all kinds. I played in bands growing up. I've always enjoyed that. I still do it to this day if I get a chance. You may have seen we did a chamber video, Hotel California, where I played the guitar, and Tiffany Hill of First Class Real Estate Triangle East actually sang Hotel California. Of course, she sang it a lot better than I played it. But, speaking of that song, I was driving around today and I had pulled up to a drive-thru and that song was on the radio, Hotel California, which reminds me of this story. Have you ever gone to a drive-thru? You get behind the cars, there's always the slowpoke and the people fighting and trying to, get into the lane and get ahead of everybody else. But you get behind the one person whose power window doesn't work. So they pull up and they have to open their door to order, and then they have to pull up to get their food, and they got to open the door to get their food. So my thinking on that is just go inside, okay? Make it easy for all of us. So that's just one of my gripes for today. Another thing I came across today that was pretty annoying, all of these new holidays, every day's got 10 different holidays. For example, today is National Hug Day. Now, when the pandemic came along, it kind of outlawed hugging. But I told people the whole time I was still hugging necks, regardless of the germs. I wasn't wearing masks either, even though I had to at some point in time. But hugging is a very important function of my job. I do it as much as I can. Sometimes there are good hugs and sometimes they're not. I'll leave it there. Same thing with handshakes. The whole fist bump. Never like that. The elbow, the knee, the foot. I like a good, firm handshake, and I don't want a handshake where somebody's going to give the bone crusher to me, because that's just not proper. Give me a good, firm handshake, and don't give me a dead fish. I don't want that either. So, handshake day, that's another one of them. Here's a meaningless one if I've ever seen one. National Waffle Iron Day. Now, what fool came up with that? It makes no sense. We shouldn't have it. Get rid of that one too. So here's another good one. Today is National Camera Day. Now, I don't know if they're talking about a camera you take a picture with, but the funny thing about it is also today in history, on 2007, the Apple released the very first iPhone. So they basically can do away with National Camera Day because nobody buys cameras anymore. They buy iPhones and take their pictures with those. So get rid of that one too. There's a couple of good holidays. There's one called National Bourbon Day. I pretty much celebrate that one almost every day, but it just happened a week or so ago. And there's another one called Global Beatles Day. That's a really good one. I'm a big Beatles fan. In fact, my daughter was recently over in London. She did the crossing of Abbey Road, sent some pictures back. That's a bucket list thing for me. If I ever get a chance to go to London and get a picture crossing Abbey Road, I'll be tickled to death. Again, that was my daughter, Emily. Speaking of Emily, my first guest tonight, coming up after the break, will be Emily Wagner of CBS 17.
Metro Maintenance has provided fast, reliable services in Nash, Edgecombe, and Halifax counties for over 35 years. Metro Maintenance offers services for residential, commercial, and institutional facilities. These services include heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and general repairs. Our numerous years of experience, knowledge, and resources help us to accomplish our mission of serving our customers with superior service achieved through integrity and hard work. All of our work is guaranteed. For service, call 252-977-2730 or find us on the web at metro-maintenance.com.
Hey, my guest tonight is Emily Wagner from CBS 17. She has a show called On Carolina Soil. Now, I met Emily about a year or so ago, and she was just working for WNCT in Greenville. But now she has her own show, On Carolina Soil. How did that all come about?
Yeah, so before I worked for a television station, I was actually working on a hog farm with Smithfield Foods. I was running the farrowing department, so the pigs giving birth. And they say that I made a lateral move into television.
I guess.
Couldn't really tell you how I made it there. Great story that doesn't even make sense to me now that I'm looking back on it 5 years later. But I got to WNZT and they kept talking about the old farm report that John Spence and Slim Short that they used to air, and they kept calling me the hog farmer. My nickname there was the hog farmer.
So you also worked at a slaughterhouse at some point when you were in college?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I would first say that my slaughtering interest started a lot earlier in life.
It's kind of scary.
My dad took me hunting growing up, and I always wanted to gut the animals. I wasn't necessarily interested in killing them, but I wanted to know what was inside.
And just gut them alive?
No. Always unconscious. Animal welfare, always the main priority.
Okay. That's definitely very interesting, because when I look at the other things we know about you, they really don't go with that.
No.
I know you sang opera.
Yes.
And that was your dream job, to be an opera singer. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, it was.
So are you still singing opera?
Not really. I last year had joined the Tarboro Choral Society, and we just had a concert. But other than that, no.
Okay. I saw her on Facebook singing opera recently.
That was for the Tarboro Choral Society.
Okay. Well, I can't go without asking you what are you drinking? I'm just kidding. To get you to sing a little opera for me. Just a little bit, just to kind of get a taste.
Well, first I'm going to let you know right now that I did sing opera from 7th grade up until my senior year of college.
Wow.
Trained, sang in college as well. And just because I like you, I will sing a little bit. But usually I require an accompanist and my warm-up time.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave that part up to you. If you want to let it rip, let it rip.
Okay. Kill Bill sogno di Doretta potiando vinar.
Wow. I don't have any idea what that was, but it was great.
Italian. tell
Well,
me.
yeah. Do you know what it means?
I know that the whole song talked about love and being dramatically in love.
Okay. Well, I just saw the movie Pretty Woman where he takes her to the opera and they're talking about either you love it or you learn to love it, opera. You don't have to know the language to be able to kind of follow the story.
Well, luckily nowadays, if you go to an opera, they usually have the translation up on the screen
Okay.
so that you can kind of follow along a little bit better.
Well, that's nice. So my crack research staff has also found out that you played the trombone when you were coming up since the 5th grade and you were in a college marching band. Is that true?
Yes.
Do we believe her? Did you bring your trombone?
No, I did not.
Gosh, that's so disappointing. Well, it just so happens we have a trombone here.
How do you have a trombone here?
We were prepared. So we're gonna grab our trombone. It's been sanitized for your protection. And we're gonna see what you can do. It just happens to be back here.
Oh my gosh.
See? Was I lying to you? All right, Emily. Prove it to me.
Okay, so let's also do a little disclaimer about this trombone. In 5th grade, I picked this instrument out. So in 5th grade, I was pretty small. And I was going around trying to figure out what instrument I was going to play, had all the options lined out. And I chose the trombone. And everybody was asked, Emily, are you really sure that that's what you want to play? It's bigger than you. It was bigger than me at the time. And I also couldn't reach 6th position. I still barely can reach 6th position. But my trombone became my secondary instrument. And I will tell you that I was in the marching band, but I don't know why they let me into the marching band. I was probably the worst marcher player out of hundreds of people.
I don't think I could march and play at the same time. I wouldn't be able to get the rhythm down.
I haven't played the trombone in probably 10 years.
Okay, well, we'll give you a little slack on it. So give it a shot. That's awesome.
There you go.
Folks, where do you get this kind of entertainment from? I just don't think there's another show that has
We
this.
don't have any marching.
Well, maybe we will, maybe not. So, is it true that you also have a veterinary science degree and you didn't pursue that any further?
Nope. Man, you know a lot about me.
I've been snooping around out there, Emily.
Yeah, I actually started off as a vocal performance major, did that for 2 years, and realized that I enjoyed doing it more as a hobby than, as a profession. And so I found my long lost passion as animal science. And as I went through my degree, I learned that there were a lot of other options out there career-wise, other than just going to vet school. Plus, I didn't really want to go to vet school because I was absolutely terrible at physics and OChem, and I knew that I was going to have to do all those things again.
Well, I think you made some good decisions with your career. As I said, she works for CBS 17 in Raleigh, and the episodes are on Carolina soil. Not only are shown on CBS 17, but they're also shown on WNCT in Greenville. Now, if you watch her show, she's not going to look like she does now. She's got on blue jeans and a ball cap. She still looks great, but it's a totally different look than what she is right now. So I try to get on there. She posts it on her Facebook and everything, and I try to get on there and watch her episodes. And some of them have been local farmers in this area that certain people I know may have helped set up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have.
But
very much appreciated.
It's always interesting to see what you can show about the farming in the area, because a lot of stuff I don't know.
I think it's really important that people understand a little bit more about agriculture. They meet their farmers, farmers have families. They are people too. Especially with inflation, the misconception is that farmers are making more money because your food prices are higher, and that's just not the case. Input costs for farmers are higher, so they're not making any profit off of it either. And so I'm passionate about sharing those types of stories and information that isn't out there enough in the world.
People don't get the real world view, and you're giving it to them. That the price of diesel affects the price of products. Things like that. It's just a domino effect on everything.
Yes.
I want her to tell you about her pets because she's got one pet in particular with special needs. So tell me about those.
All right. So I have 3 extra large dogs in total. My first one is Owl Muffin. That's his name. And he is my largest one. He's an Anatolian Shepherd. He's about 125 pounds. And then I have Charles, who I call Charles. And he is my fully 4-legged Great Pyrenees. And then I say that because I have my third dog, his name is Yeti, and he does not have 4 legs. Well, he technically has 4 legs, but he loves them.
So that's the one with the special needs. He has a little cart he pulls around.
He does, but I have learned that if you put him in that cart out in the yard, unsupervised, he will actually get onto the road, the paved road, and drive down to the neighbors in his wheelchair. So,
well, that's pretty good.
He also likes to walk around the yard without his wheelchair. He's been picking himself up on all 4 legs. And really, I met him on accident. I was not looking for a third dog. And when I met him, he was introduced as a Great Pyrenees. And I said, oh, well, I already have 2 extra large dogs. Why not add a third?
Well, I did see the video of your dog without the little wheelchair thing. And you said he was born that way. So I guess he knows nothing else. And he seems really happy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's just like every other dog. He runs off. He goes to the neighbors. He likes to follow my flock of birds around that I'm now raising. I became a bird mom this year, and I have 1 turkey who I call Turk.
It's a good name.
Yeah. I have 6 chickens, 4 ducks, and 3 guineas, and a dozen fertilized guinea eggs in the incubator.
Wow. That is awesome. So you've got a regular farm thing going on over there. So the on Carolina soil kind of fits your whole thing.
Yeah. I want to keep adding.
So let me go back to the opera.
Okay.
So what kind of music did you listen to coming up? Did you listen to opera or just regular?
Gosh, no. I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, and no one there had probably ever listened to opera except for on accident. Except for maybe my music teachers. My music teachers were the ones that started introducing classical music to me.
They must have recognized the talent there.
Yeah, 5th grade was my first solo, and in 6th grade I started competing.
Well, that's very impressive. You did very good. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here and share some of your personal information about us, some of your life. It's very interesting stuff. You're more than just a pretty face.
Thanks.
So much more. But we appreciate Emily coming on. Thank you. I hope you'll come on and see us some other time. Hey, that was a great interview with Emily. I appreciate her coming on and letting everybody know a little bit more about her. She's a really interesting person. Unfortunately, we ran a little bit long with her, so we're going to have to postpone Will Ferrell to another time. I'll have my people contact his people. We'll make it happen. Just stay tuned for that. Hey, listen, thank you so much for watching. Tune in every Thursday night. We're going to have something fun and exciting for you every Thursday night at 10, right here on Up Late with Sam Bass. I'll see you soon.